7. He's right, I'm not leaving you either. Me too? You don't honestly think I'd abandon you, did you? You're all idiots. Act as tough as you want, Lotus. We can all see you're about to cry. That being said, however... Nein! Ich hab den noch nicht fertig! Jetzt hau ab! Musst du mich so erschrecken, meine Güte! Ey, Alter! Steht die einfach neben mir! However, I doubt we should be able to open the door anyway, even if we were to leave Lotus behind. Huh? Why? I trust you remember what happened to Ace. I couldn't see exactly what happened, but I was able to guess what he was attempting to do earlier at the red. Oh yeah. No, what is this? Why? The digital root should be 9. It has to be 9. Then why? Why isn't it opening? Just to see, why don't we give it a shot? Give it a shot? Yes, that is what I said. You were right. It ain't opening. Wir are screwed. Wir haben alle verkackt, wir sterben alle. But it did open 9 years ago. The digital root was 9 then. I'm sure of it. You think maybe they changed the settings? Perhaps. Shit, if we can't get through the door, we can't get out. The walls are way too high. There's no way in how we could get to that hole 7 popped out 9 years ago. All we can do is stand here and stare at this door with a 9 in it. I guess this is it. This is the end. Ende. I was watching. I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums I heard. Smell, taste, touch. I felt everything he felt. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All of his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness was inside of him. Through the morphic fields that we were resonant and we were as one. I was him, and at the same time I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. It was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off on the ship we were on. It was when my resonance with him began. My resonant event melted into him and we became one, inside of Junpei. Somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind 9 years in the future, but I didn't lose myself. I was living in two realities at once. One was the present and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as two movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. That was why I was able to grasp that was happening in front of me. Da ist schon wieder Lotus. Come on, over here, also die Tochter. That was my brother, Aoi. He was screaming. I followed him. Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age. Come on, hurry up! We ran down a long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got in a fist fight. A girl watching them began to cry. I wanna go home, she cried. I wanna go home. Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It has been 2 hours since the Noria game began. We were starting to fall apart. But just when all hope seemed lost, Light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later we would call him Snake. Hello everyone. Yes, could you come over here for a moment? He was older than most of us and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down and we gathered around him. I have a little sister. She's very important to me. Right now she's over in Building Q and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover and today is her 9th birthday. As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. In his hands were 9 4-leaf clovers. I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is, well, it's difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me, and I hoped that these would show her how much I cared for her. Since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 4-leaf clovers would be appropriate. Every one of you has a brother or a sister in building cool with clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off the ship. Do you understand? If we are going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If you can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've taught you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They are promised between friends. You gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually, he was left with only a single 4-leaf clover. You had one last thing to say. Now, don't ever forget. So long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand? When he finished, the tension of only a few minutes before was gone. We were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found a door with the number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in a chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Das neue Game war von Anfang an geplant, dass jeder überlebt, selbst das von Hongu. Before long, we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside-down funnel. For some reason, this room had an hour number 9, but this time it was the only one. But if there were only one door, that meant only 5 people could escape. What are we going to do? There aren't any other doors? We began to panic. Then, as if things had not gotten bad enough already, Warning! Warning! Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 80 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound good. My brother always swore hard and answered, I think it means this room is gonna burn. Burn? The plaque on the door says incinerator, and that voice said the incineration is about to start, and incineration means to burn. No! Mein Auge juckt. Help me! A big terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. Then, high up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. He was a huge, frightening mountain of a man, as large as a beer. 9 years later, we could call him 7. Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you. The rest happened just like 7 had said it did. The 4 of us who had stayed behind were saved by 7. We crawled through the vent away from the incinerator and slid down into the hall. We came out on the other side of the door 9. On the wall opposite the door was a set of double doors. We went through those and began to run up the spiral stairs. As we ran, I led the way. Behind me went Nona, my brother Aoi, Snake and 7. Nona ist der Name von Lotuskind. Und ich denke mal, sie hat die Nummer 9, aber es ist das Kind von Lotus. The other children, the one who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could, and I kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually, I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they had caught up. That was when I realized, oh no, where is it? Did I drop Jumpy's present? I knew I had it with me when we passed through the vent. Then, had I dropped it as we slid out? I had to go back. I had to, but I knew I couldn't tell the others. They would stop me. I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I went to the central hall, the room that connected to all the other areas of the ship, and hid in the shadows. I hid in the shadows. A moment later I felt a run of wind as it ran past me up the staircase. I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. I moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically. There it is! It was just where I thought I would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back towards the stairs in freedom, the door to the incinerator opened and a man stepped out. It was Hongu. Gentaru Hongu. 9 years later we would call him Ace. Ah, how wonderful to see you decided to come back. His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled up the corners of his mouth. Come with me. We must continue this experiment. I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly I began to walk backwards. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Then I spun around and broke into a run. I felt Hongu's hand close over my left wrist. I said, come with me. There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could. No, I don't want to. Let me go. Please, let go of me. I shook my body and flayed my arms, trying to spread to get Hongu to let go of me. But I was still only a child. I was no match for a man like Hongu. Stop struggling, goddammit. Do as I tell you. He heaved my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed, help me, somebody help me. Then suddenly, Akane! The door to the stairs flew open, and my brother Aoi burst out of it. Behind him came Seven and Snake. Akane! He cried my name again as he leapt toward Hongu. You came back! You came back! I cried out. Ha! You're too late, idiot! Hongu threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator. Ah! The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open number 9 door. Hongu stood between it and me, but behind him I could see my brother, his fists clenched. But those fists never reached Hongu. Scheiße. With the cold, heartless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hongu glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the red that sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared in the red. He checked the screen and tossed the bracelets carelessly on the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself. Of course, he said nothing at all and walked past me as I thought I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later, the double door slid shut as well. Faintly I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran toward the door with the 9. Akane! Akane! Are you okay? I could hear a voice from the other side of the door. A worried, frightened voice. Help me! My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room. What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here. Where's Hongu? He went out the other door. What? And then it started again. Warning, warning. Incinerator will begin in 80 minutes. Automatic incinerator will take place in 80 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Holy shit, man, I knew what it was gonna say, but holy shit, man, I knew what it was gonna say, but that is one hell of creepy voice. I knew it. It's starting. Santa started the incinerator. Fuck, man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after 9 years. What the hell? What the hell? What are you talking about? It's 9 years this and 9 years that, and when it's not 9 years something, then you're talking about some sort of fucking experiments. What in God's name are you talking about? You aren't making any sense. I'm sorry, Lotus, but we really don't have the time to explain it right now. I promise I'll tell you everything once we get out of here. But automatic incineration will take place in 17 minutes. You know what that means, right? Incinerate means burn. What kind of an idiot do you think I am? I know what incinerate means. Well, god damn it! Okay, fine. I won't ask anything else. Talk about whatever you want. But you have to do something for me. 7. Figure this out. What? Why me? Just shut up and stop this thing. How the hell? There has to be some sort of emergency shut-off button. There isn't anything like that. How the hell do you know? Because I looked for it 9 years ago. Yeah, Lotus isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait, the floor, it's moving. What the fuck? What else can I say about it, but what the hell is that? What else could I say, but what is that? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer, at least it kind of did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. I wiped them off even as more took their place and forced myself forward. Finally, I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. All I saw was my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass drenched in tears. All I can see on the screen is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kinda freaked out. I know I'm sweating like crazy, but seeing it kinda drives it home. Okay, Jumper, just calm down, alright? Everything gonna be okay. Gah! Man, I wish that thing would just shut up. Automating will take place in 50 minutes. Alright, back to this thing. If it's only showing up now, then it's gotta be important. But what the hell am I supposed to do with it? Hey, move! Gah! Hey, where are all the tanks, lady? That doesn't mean you get to shove people around. Okay, it's turned on. There's nothing on the screen, though. This is bad. This is really bad. If there's nothing on here, how are we supposed to do anything with it? Should I just push buttons? I'm sure it'll... Huh? Well, at least it's on now. What's on the screen, though? What is this? What the hell? It looks like some sort of puzzle. It's got a bunch of numbers scattered across 9 by 9 grid. The number range from 1 to 9. Do you think that if we solve this puzzle, the incinerator will stop? Yeah, well, we can't hope, right? Alright, puzzle, how do you work? Oh man, that goddamn voice again. Shit, 30 minutes. Can we really do this? My heart feels like it's gonna pop. My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I wish I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. Akane, du bist Japanerin, du weißt, wie das geht. My connection to Jumpy had begun gone for a while. His mind was gone. I couldn't get any more information from him. I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen completely lost. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured over them. Then I heard a voice. Hey, what are you doing? It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entire door was a face, a frightening, evil face. It was Hangu. How long had he been watching me? Don't know what to do. He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled. It's simple, really, but I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine. His growl was muffled by the door, but it still tore at my heart like the claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hangu, struggling to hold back hot tears. You're a terrible person. I hate you. Oh my, how could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice. I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty. You see, I've even left you a way out. A way out? Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that and you can stop the incinerator. What's the point of stopping it? You only captured me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now. My goodness. Haven't you listened to anything I've said? I've told you I'm a fair man. If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape. The verification function of the red? Then I remembered. Before Hongo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets onto the red. Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number? I looked down at my left hand. The face on my bracelet showed a 5. I went to the door with the 9 on it. I grabbed the red and put my hand against the scanner panel. Oh, wie putzig, ihr Kleinhändchen. You really aren't one for listening, are you? I hear Hongo's muffled voice from across the room. I already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will activate. In other words, if you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number. What kind of a fool are you? Why are you doing this? You could never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle. I can't. I don't know how. Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution. I can't. Then you'll die. You'll burn alive. It's going to be quite hot in there in a few minutes. I imagine it will be very painful. His horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I could hear it. I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the empty monitor. I can't. I just can't. There's no way. I can't figure this out. What was I going to do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could think of was how I was going to die. My palms were sweating, and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot, so hot, I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest as if it would pound itself to pieces. I reached into my pocket. I wrapped my hand around the thing I'd come back to get. The doll Jumpy had given me. At last, I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed. Help me, Jumpy! Help me! Help me! Help me! Jumpy! 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 Please, help me! Jumpy! Akane! Akane? Who the hell is Akane? Shut up! Just shut the hell up! 7 Lotus don't understand. I think Clover and Snake have an idea, though. Clover's looking at me. And I think Snake might have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here? Akane! Akane! Can you hear me? Akane! Say something! Fuck! Did something break our connection? I swear, I just heard her. Shit! Akane! Answer me! Akane! Jumpy? I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course, but I'd heard it so clearly, like he was right there. Jumpy! I screamed as loud as I could. Immediately, I heard him call back. Akane! Jumpy! That's her. She's there. Then that means... Akane, are you in an incinerator right now? Yes, I am. How did you know? Now I understand what Santa meant. Right, there's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister, to save Akane. I think I get it now. It will take place in 7 minutes. Scheiße, wir haben keine Zeit mehr. Jumpy, we don't have time. Sag ich doch. As quick as I could, I told him that I had to solve the puzzle in order to stop the incinerator. Got it. And I do. I get everything now. At last I finally understand what all of this means. I know where the normal game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It was all for this moment. All of this was planned out to lead to this moment. Oh my god! This is insane! I can't believe it, but there's only one possible answer. Junist, Zeroist, Akane Kuroshiki. She recreated the history of the future that she had glimpsed of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. Now she's trying to save herself right now. That means that there's only one thing for me to do. Even if this is all some sort of insane plan, I will save her. I will save Akane Kurashiki. I must save her, no matter what. Automatic incineration will take place in 6 minutes. Jumpy! Yeah, I know. Just hang on, alright? I promise I'll get you out of here. I'm not gonna let you die. I promise. So don't worry, alright? Just give me a few minutes, okay? Okay. My voice shook as I answered. It was hot in the room. It felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for him. Sie hat immer noch, sie hat Gefühle für ihn. Und das hat sie auch noch, wenn sie in Serious Escape sind. Da hat sie immer noch Gefühle für ihn. Alright, time to get to work, Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get out of my way. Hey, what are you? Just trust me, okay? Sorry, Lois, I didn't mean to snap, but there's a lot more at stake here than your pride. I'll apologize later, alright? Now let's have a look at this thing. We've got numbers all over this grid. Now if I'm looking at this right, I'm going to need to fill in all the empty squares with other numbers from 1 to 9. But I can't use the same two numbers in any horizontal or vertical row. Same has to go for the 3x3 scales with the thick lines around them. That means I need to put different numbers in the horizontal and vertical rows as well as the 3x3 spaces. I think that's the rule here. Alright, bring it on. I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind. I'm gonna solve this problem.